Gondoskodás.
Polvódás.
Care.
Proteger.
Забота.
رعاية. Condução.
Ter atenção.
Sorge tragen. Niaisu.
Cuidar.
Aruga.
Curar. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much to stay here with us today. And today you will have the opportunity to train your tolerance regarding my English. So, and we want to start, can be really nice to know who is who, and we don't have the possibility to present ourselves. For this reason, we will do a little exercise, and I will show you how. Just a minute. Okay, so please, we need that you rename your profile. You have to put your name, but before your name, you have to put the name of the country where you were born, then the name of the country where you live now, and then your name. If the name is maybe if you live in the same country where you were born, you can put city where you were born, or and then where you live now. So the idea is to have some information about you without presentation. So we take 1 minute or something like this to put the information in our profile. Who doesn't know how it works is not a problem. Okay, so without stress, it's only to give some information. I repeat now the instruction. Now, your country where you were born, then where you live now, and then your name. So I will do also, and we can see how different we are, no? And we can really enjoy these differences, no? Brazil, Belgium, for example, no? Here we have Portugal, Ireland, Argentina, Spain, Netherlands, Belgium, no? So you have Portugal, Spain. Okay, so you can try, and you have time to do that, because the idea is to give this information for the next activities that we will do. Okay, that is the first point. And one important thing now is, because I want to propose you some points of prosocial communication, but prosocial communication is important to apply prosocial communication. And if I don't know what do you think about this, it's difficult, and I will ask you something in the chat. And please, I ask you to answer now. Wait. So here you have a link in the chat, please. And don't do anything now. So just a moment, and I explain you what you have to do. So the question is, what is the main difficulty you experience when you want to communicate satisfactorily with a person that make life difficult for you? So sometimes happen that we have relationships that are not really easy, no? And maybe we feel a lot of problems or difficulties. You have to choose one difficulty, only one. And you have to explain this difficulty in a maximum of 5 words, not more of 5 words. And only one idea. For example, if a person say, I feel that I am not really so intelligent as my sister. And for this reason, we discuss all the time about X aspect. So that is not one difficulty, that is a complex difficulty, and we have two ideas. We have to choose one idea. So I don't feel, for example, so enough intelligent as my sister. That is one difficulty. No, and the idea is please to write in this Padlet, no, which is this difficulty, and you can take, now we have 2 minutes to write something. Okay, 2 minutes. We see some ideas now, and it's important that when we talk about communication, it's not the same for all people. For example, here we have some answers. Sometimes it's language. Fundamentalism of my partner. Trovare il momento più opportuno per parlare. So when is the best moment to talk? Autoaffermazione. Ognuno vuole tenere la propria opinione. No? So each person wants to have their own opinion. No? Differenza di visione. So different opinions, different points of view. I often sound busy of what I say is talking as a critic, even when I'm just asking. No? Non essere sicura di farmi capire. No? I am not sure if I really can express myself with a clarity way. No? The other person maybe doesn't understand. Dificultad de exprimir mis sentimientos. It's difficulty to express my emotions. Refusal to address the topic. No importa lo que yo diga, igualmente no irá bien con esta persona en concreto. It's not important what I can say. With this person, it's difficult to have a good solution. Huh? And the question is if I always I have to change my perspective to dialogue with this person. So why always me? Why always I have to change the point of view? Sometimes over analysis of the situation. I don't want to offend the other by proposing a different perspective. Dejarme llevar por las emociones. So the emotions control myself. No? We see the same problem, but have different ways to resolve it. My French is not enough good, so I don't know if I can some help to. It's about prejudices, can be this. Somebody in the La Regia, so about prejudices can be this card. Ok. Non mi sento capito per via che sono di un'altra cultura e mi esprimo diversamente e altro capisce spesso un'altra cosa di quello che voglio dire. So that's a person that has another culture and he or she doesn't feel that nobody understands because it's comes from another culture and sometimes understand different. The people understand different, the interpretation is different, no? So a misunderstanding. Un fuerte bloqueo interior y comunicativo. So inside, I don't know, Yukiko, are you there? So how can you translate this? Un fuerte bloqueo interior y comunicativo.
Internal blockage in order to be able to communicate.
Ok, thank you very much. Ascoltare parole che mi feriscono e paura.
Voy a hacer un mate.
Sorry? Ascoltare parole che mi feriscono e paura di entrare in conflitto. Here we have two ideas, for example, no? To listen words that hurt to me And paura, how can be paura?
Fear, the fear
Yes.
of entering into a conflict. So to
Thank
listen
you.
to words that hurt me and fear of entering into conflict.
Thank you very much. And here we have the last one, I think. I don't feel that we understand each other. It feels like we have a different logic, which to me sounds illogic. So if you see how many people we are, so now we are 50 people, no? And how many differences we have if we talk about communication and difficulties. Each difficulty is really complex, and so the difficulties that you take, and the proposal is that I will try to apply the communication model to the ideas that you gave in this Padlet, no? Okay, so and first of all, if you need more information, we have some books, open access books, because prosocial communication is so complex. It's interesting, but we need a lot of time to work. So it's maybe it's really general what we are saying today, because it's not a lot of time, no? But if you really think that's interesting for you, we have some videos and open access books, English, Italian, and Spanish. So here you have our social media, and okay. And now I propose you, I explain you, if you have patience, so you can 20 minutes maybe, or 30 minutes, I can explain you the prosocial communication model and some aspects, not all, but some 5 aspects. And then we will do an exercise in groups. And then we can talk, and we can discuss and answer some questions if you have some questions. Okay. Now we start. Okay. The difference between prosocial and antisocial is easy, because we know, when we listen antisocial, we know what is. So antisocial is something that is not good, no? Distraction, violence, no? Something that is active. It's an active behavior that want to do something that is not good for one person. But prosocial is a good behavior because it's help. So we help somebody because this person needs our help. But not all. It's not all about motivation, because maybe sometimes we want to help, but the intention is good, but the result is not good. I want to care you, but sometimes it's too much love, no? And for this reason, it's important when we talk about prosocial or prosociality, who say that the help is your help is the person. So if I want to visit you in hospital, who say that was a good idea is the person in hospital, no? Because sometimes we are really nice people, but sometimes the people doesn't need this kind of help, no? And when we have prosocial behaviors, it's a good way to prevent violence, and we can repair effects of antisocial communication, of aggressivity. So this communication is to connect with another person, to understand what the other person wants to say. It's not a communication to convince, to persuade, to inform, to educate. It's a communication, we are in the same level. And the goal is, I want to understand why you are thinking in the way how you are thinking. So why do you think in this way? I want to understand That's my goal. So my final goal is not that we decide together something, that we have a consensus. The final goal is I want to know you. I want to understand you. For this reason, it's different when we have a communication from my point of view. For example, I have the truth. I know what is the truth about you, about the situation, about our problem. I know everything, and you are wrong. But the problem is that when you have two people that have this feeling, they have the truth, we have no communications. Difficult. So when we think it's more easy to have a conflict, a big conflict, and also violence, if we have a person that has no this capacity to listen, no, to ask. No? The proposal of prosocial communication is that really we open the mind to understand. And you can say, obviously, we know that. Yeah, but what do you do when the other person is a difficult person for you? What do you do when this person maybe has an opinion that for you is terrible? Or what do you do when do you think that this person make your life difficult? That's the point. The goal is not that if I do this exercise, then so I have to lost my point of view. No, so I have to understand, and when I understand, I can answer with my opinion, of course. But sometimes, if we don't do this exercise and we answer without this exercise, sometimes we say something that is not correct, and we have an escalation. Sorry for the translators, because sometimes I use words that I don't know if exist in English, but anyway, I try. So, prosocial skills. 2 principles to start. When we talk with a person that is a difficult person, for example, we have to accept that this person has a mental representation of the world. That means that this person has one idea about the world, and it's okay, and it's normal, and it's different to my mental representation of the world. And we have to know that, and it's nice because we are different. And this person also has a culture, not a national culture, but also maybe a family can have, for example, a big family has a kind of culture, a community culture, no? Maybe a family, a little family is another kind of culture, no? We have to accept we have different ways to resolve the problems, no? And sometimes we generalize, no? And we don't accept that the other maybe is different, no? For example, a person from Germany, no? And how can be you so spontaneous? You are German. The Germans are really so in this way, so they are not spontaneous people, no? And sometimes we do that. So we generalize and we put the people in a box, no? Because we want to have the people in a box, and we say, I know everything about you, and you are like me, no? Or how can it be possible that you think in this way? We are from the same religion, sorry. So it's impossible that you have this opinion. So we are Catholic or we are evangelic, sorry. No, why not? No, and that's the first point of all. In the first exercise, we know that we are different, but we have to say, I like that we are different. I like that we are different. And that's a big thing, because sometimes I tolerate that we are different. I accept that we are different. But to say that is really an exercise inside. I like so much that we are different. Okay, that's the first point. Second one, temporary emptiness. That's an exercise. It's not that I lost my opinion forever. No, I don't lose anything. I am a person with one opinion and a culture, and I have ideas, clear ideas about a lot of things. But if I want to understand you, I do this to understand, because if I am full of my emotions and thoughts, I can listen what you are saying. So I need to take my information and, okay, what are you saying? So temporary emptiness. And then I can take my things, no? But to understand, sorry, no, I take everything. And please say to me, temporary emptiness. Third point, train metacognition, because with difficult persons or difficult situations and conflicts, for example, and also with people that first maybe are important people for us, but I don't know why we have this difficult relationship, no? We live together and I don't know why it's so difficult. The question is the other person so difficult? But what about you? What about me? What are my feelings? What is my opinion? But which ideas I have? Sometimes we don't think about our thinking, way of we think. And sometimes we say, okay, this person is the problem or this situation. And we need time to for us. We have to care ourselves, because if we don't identify what we are thinking, sometimes we can have also health problems. And metacognition, we can train metacognition. So metacognition is we think in what we are thinking. So we think in what I am thinking. For example, I think that this workshop is too long. No, I think that this workshop is no. So the ideas that you have now in this moment. Times of metacognition. We apply this in three moments. First one is previous metacognition. It's really easy. So if you list this, you say, this is like now university. No, it's really easy. So previous metacognition means that we prepare ourselves. For example, if you have to explain something really difficult, you prepare the context, you prepare the place to give, for example, bad news. You prepare yourselves and also the person. So you have this, I think, previous. So the person is not here, but I can prepare myself, no? And that's we perform the certain actions, no? We can prepare, we can plan. For example, I give you some examples. Sorry, here. Okay, here. For example, you have to give an information. Sometimes you see, okay, so WhatsApp is not a good way to inform or to give some information, because WhatsApp can be really good or not. Or to talk with somebody in a place, a public place, it's an important aspect, but you can see that there are a lot of people and that's not comfortable. And maybe the result of our conversation will be a disaster, because our previous metacognition didn't work, no? Or maybe I know that I am really nervous. So, and today we have to talk. Maybe today is not the good day to talk, or to choose a wrong place to explain something, no? In a car, for example, no? And I explain, and the person needs some concentration, and I really, so I decide, I choose this place because previous, I didn't thought that maybe today is not a good moment because we have to drive, but she will be, she needs some concentration. But sometimes there are people that feels really comfortable with WhatsApp, for example. People with, for example, there are people that they don't talk about emotions in real life. But if they have the possibility to use an emoticon, and in English, I don't know how do you say, one of these, no? So some people really say, okay, they show a lot of emotions, no? Because you say, okay, maybe. So in my idea about our communication, I choose a way to communicate that is okay for you, for the other person, no? Sometimes we have conflicts, and also we have difficult relationships because before we don't have this previous metacognition. Then we have the simultaneous metacognition that is in real time. So, and that is it's an unusual for impulsive people. So the impulsive people, for example, they don't think, no, they do, and they don't know why. And sometimes, so we need, not sometimes, we need this simultaneous metacognition to identify what happened. For example, to identify our emotions. For example, for me, this person is difficult, no? But why? What do you feel? So I realized that I feel sad. It's not the same if I realize that I feel lonely. It's not the same. It's not the same if I feel aggressive. Because if I realize that I feel aggressive, in the moment when I feel this aggressivity, I can say, okay, I can manage this aggressivity. I control my language, my behaviors, and maybe it's not a good moment to talk because I give a name to my emotion, and maybe I can leave the meeting now. But if the problem is that I feel lonely, maybe it's a good moment to talk. And maybe I can choose the correct words to explain that the problem is that I feel lonely. If I feel fear or disappointed, it's not the same. For this reason, it's important that we identify, we give a name to our thoughts. And we are stronger because we have more information about ourselves. And then posterior metacognition, because when we leave the meeting or so sometimes we can say, okay, I don't know, it was not really okay, so I don't know why, and that was not nice, that was not good for me, for us. And we can have this self-analysis of our memories. So we think in our memories and what was thought or said or done, no? And maybe we can say, okay, I need some correction or motivation to improve myself, and the next time I will do this different, no? But if I don't have any control about my thoughts, maybe my thoughts control me. And it's important that we have to accept that it's normal sometimes to have thoughts that are not nice, because our brain works in this way. We need seconds to think something about a person, and maybe a lot of times we have these thoughts that are not nice. The problem is not that we are I am a bad person because I have these thoughts that are not nice. No, the question is the prejudices are a problem when you don't see that you have these prejudices. That is the problem. So I have my prejudice and I identify my prejudice. I identify my thoughts and I take it and I can manage and I can control and I can decide what can I say or I don't say anything. But that's the first question. If you have a piece of paper, because then you will talk about this. The first question is self-assessment. So first point about your metacognition skills. Are you satisfied of your metacognition skills? So what do you think about yourself? You don't share this information with anyone. So that's your information. Please put in a piece of paper if you are satisfied about your metacognition skills. You have here 3 alternatives: not at all satisfied, slightly satisfied, neutral, very satisfied, or extremely satisfied. No? Okay. Give you an evaluation to yourself. Okay. And then we are the first point was about ourselves. So how can I understand myself better to manage my emotions, to manage my behaviors, my language? No? And now how to understand the other person. So I do faster because the time is really, the other person has a dignity and we have to confirm the dignity of the other person. That means that this person is here and I can ask some questions, because sometimes we can have a person and we say, but you're really important. Yes, but I don't feel that I am so important for you, no? And I need some signs that I am so important for you. And sometimes we can smile, we can ask questions. The best way to give this confirmation is asking. So a person can explain you something and you can ask, that's really interesting, can you please give me more information? That is so much important that if you say, oh, that's nice, because sometimes the person can say, yeah, you do that because you love me, but for you it's not interesting what I am doing. No? For example, our children's, for example, no? It's important to have this interest, to have these questions, and identify hashtags in our mind. If a person comes to you, so identify what is your opinion about this person. No, for example, in a difficult conversation, oof, really, so it's not really sympathetic. No? That's a hashtag. No? If you identify the hashtags that you put about this person, you can manage the hashtags, because these hashtags are a real problem if you don't control your hashtags. Your own hashtags then go through your language, your behaviors. It's much better if you identify first these thoughts. And to listen is really important. We know that, no? And prosocial listening is the goal is to connect with the other person. So we not to intervene, not to convince, no? And we listen, but listen active. And that means that we ask questions if we don't understand, for example. Now we really want to understand, really. It's not it's not passive, it's really active. And we can also ask the other person about our listening quality. So, for example, do you think that my quality listening is good? So do you feel that I am listening? And the other person is our criteria. No, for this reason, who really can say if our quality of listening is good? It's not me, it's the other person. And we can also improve our quality of listening. We can also, it's like a play, no? You can ask the people before the person leaves, no? Sorry, before you leave, what evaluation from 1 to 10 will you give me my listening quality? No? And maybe it was a fantastic conversation and the person said to you 5. And you say, what? 5? And it's not the moment to say, how is possible 5? No, it's the moment to say, and why 5? What I need to arrive to 10? No? Because can you imagine a doctor that asks in this way? That can be really nice. So a physician, no, that say to you as a patient, you live the, and okay, you as a patient, so from 1 to 10, my information, it was clear from 1 to 10, yes, 10. And my quality of listening, 3, no, sometimes. And that's important because we need to know if we have to improve, no? And we can ask the other person. It's not on, I am not the responsible about everything. So I can take the other person and I can ask, please, in your piece of paper, self-assessment about your listening quality. Ask yourself, do I make sure that the person feels that I am listening carefully, verbally and not verbally? Do I listen with serenity? No? So what do you think about yourself? No? Are you satisfied about your quality of listening? Okay, that's the cognitive empathy. That means that empathy is, we know a lot about empathy, but cognitive empathy is something more. It's really to take the other place, but I am the other person. So I really want to see the world from your point of view. And that means that I ask so many times that I need to understand your representation of the world. So I really want to see the world from your point of view. And that's not emotional, that's cognitive. And maybe the other person also, if the opinion is terrible for you, maybe it's impossible for you to say, okay, that's nice what you are thinking about the life. No, because for you it's terrible. Okay, that's a value. But you can always understand why this person thinks in this way. That's always possible. And self-assessment. And I explain something. One way to do this cognitive empathy is, for example, to say things in with your words. No, for example, sorry, but I don't understand you, but I explain you with my words, and please say if this information is the correct one. So that's really your opinion, and I explain you with my words. For example, that is paraphrasing. No. Do I give feedback, paraphrasing what the other has told me? So do that. So to do in this way is a usually behavior that you do. Or, for example, do you do a cognitive effort to understand why and how the person think? So it's an effort that you do. Or do you try to empower the other person in their point of view when this person, for example, doesn't know what really is important to say? For example, sometimes a person say is really strong in a discussion, but you see that this person is really confused and it's impossible to talk. You can give some ideas to this person. Please, I want to understand. And do do you think that your opinion is this? No, I don't think so. Sorry, your opinion, I understand correctly. So are you saying that? Yes, I am saying that. So you are saying this and this? Yes. In the first moment, it was really clear. No, it was not clear, but with your questions, the person really understood their own opinion. And now with this empower, no, this person can really now talk to you, no? But this time was important to help the person to have their own opinion about something. And okay, and that was information. So that's all. So remember, that are the important aspects to talk now. I like that we are different. Temporary emptiness. Train metacognition. Apply prosocial listening. Use cognitive empathy and confirm the other person in their dignity. Six points. Sorry, it was really fast because now we have a short exercise. We have a speed dating. That means that you will be in different rooms to talk about this. Only 8 minutes. Only 8 minutes, and then you will change in another room with another people 8 minutes. So you have to really find a way to apply the concepts and also to talk about what was new for you, what was interesting, and what was helpful for you. And please, now I asked you if you have the possibility to put in your profile, we will give you another information. So now you have the name of the country, the name where you were born, where you live, and your name. And please add at the first place the name of a city where you feel comfortable and where you like to live, but different from where you live. See, yeah? So different city where you can live in a comfortable way. So in this way, we have more information about the people, and our team will bring you in different rooms. Welcome. And now we will do another speed dating. Are you ready? And now you don't choose any room, okay? So now you will go in any kind of room, in any kind of language. We don't know which people, and you have to understand each other in the language that you find, okay? Without stress, because you don't have a lot of time. So you have only 6 minutes, and you will go in a room with 4 different people, okay? So now Conlet will prepare this, and if you have time, you can put in your profile new information. For example, you can put the emotion that for you is difficult to manage, no? Or more, if you want, you can put the emotion that for you is easier to manage, conflicts. Second, the emotion that is difficult to manage. Then the name of a city where you feel comfortable and where you like to live. Then the name of the country where you were born. Then the country where you live, and then your name. If you want, you can have this long profile name to bring this information to your groups, and that's a fast way to present yourself with new information, if you can and if you want. And Conlet, you have to say when are you ready, and the people can go.
Gondoskodás.
돌보다.
Care.
Proteger.
Забота.
رعاية.
Prendre soin.
Ter atenção.
Sorge tragen. Niaisu.
Cuidar.
Aruga.
Curar.